Stitches of love we sew. In this online world we come to grow. Mom and Pop Quilt Shop, where hearts align. Let's embrace the craft and let our souls shine.
Hey everyone, welcome to Weekend Project. I'm Laura Lynn of the Mom and Pop Quilt Shop Studio. We're going to be working on an easy egg apron. Our hens have just started to lay, so we're super excited by that. And we're coming into the house with like handfuls of eggs, so we're making a little apron. I only made it mine for 6 pockets because we only have 6 hens, so I can't really see us as long as we're checking daily. We shouldn't have more than 6 needed in that time period, but some have been known to lay 2. All right, so this one here is a large, okay, and I'm not a small chicken, so my measurement that I took was for 26 inches at the top here and 32 inches at the bottom, and then made a little angle cut. I'll show you how I do that with this one. This one I'm actually going to make a little bit smaller because it's going to be for my neighbor. She also has chickens, and maybe she might want a egg apron. Why not, right? So, okay, so I have 2 pieces of fabric here. They are 32 inches long by 20 inches high. And you can, of course, use the scrappy any way you like to get that section. I have folded it in half, and I have scooted the ruler to make markings so that I'm at the halfway point, and that for the very down part here, if I wanted it 28 inches across, I'm going to have my ruler on the fold at the 14. So I'm going to make a mark right there. And then I'm going to scoot up to the top of the apron where it's going to be a narrow part to go around the waist. I want that to be 22 inches, so I'm going to let my ruler sit on the 11 on the fold, okay, and mark there. So then I'm going to take those 2 markings. I'm going to go that top one and this bottom one, and I'm going to make a straight cut. And that's going to give me the angle to the apron, okay? Okay, so that's our base. Now you can have whichever, like for your inside or outside, whatever makes you happy. You can use contrasting fabric or complementary fabric. I'm going to keep it to the dark blue as the back, and then this light color here with the, like, I don't know, it kind of looks like mountains to me. Okay. So once I get it to that point, I want to make sure I'm coming down from the top, and I'm going to mark 6 inches. So I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to lay it very flat up against the top line of this apron. And I'm just going to draw a little pencil line, okay? And then I'm going to drop it again. This is if you want to have 2 rows of eggs. I believe they have more than 6 hens, so I'm going to make her two pockets, 2 sets of pockets. So that drops down to there. So she's got 2, okay? Now we want to do is we want to take the material that we're going to use as our pockets, which is these 2 pieces right here. Okay. I have it as 38 inches long, and I used a 9-inch piece for one, and then 2 4.5-inch pieces for the other to make the sleeve. So here's the other sleeve here with the 2 pieces. So let's make that sleeve, and then we have 2 pieces for the handle, which I cut at. Hold on, let's make sure. 4.5 inches, and they are about 26 inches long. Now that becomes the ties, and that gives it for, you can actually tie a bow in the back and not just like a little tiny knot, right? If they might be too long, I hope not. So what we're going to do is we're going to put those 2 right sides together and give ourselves that little tube for the pocket for the eggs and the straps, okay? Oh, I had it on zigzag. Whoop, whoop. Okay. That was my decorative stitch surrounding the other one. So super easy. I just thought I need a apron, so I'm going to make one. And I'm like, I'll make one for the neighbor too. Why not? And you can customize it if you want a pocket for your cell phone. You can have that. You can. I have a little slit in one of mine, so I can carry scissors with me to be able to clip their wings when they get a little too flighty. Now this I'm just going to sew down one on either side. Then we're going to turn right side out. You can use hemostats to turn this, or there's other means to turn this, so it's not so difficult. So I will show you my favorite little tricks. Not there. Okay, here, I'm going to up the needle, and we take a ribbon that we have from like previous projects that we're not using, and it's a half decent type of ribbon. We come in and we put it at the top. We sew a little bit over on top of that. Raise our needle. Come back down to the side. So we're just stabilizing that ribbon inside at the top so that when we have both sides all sewn up, all we have to do is just pull on this little ribbon and that other end is going to come right through it. And just making sure you're sticking the ribbon as you go down on the inside. You can do that also with a shoelace. You can make a little tab to do that, or a little piece of chunk of fabric to do that. But ribbon is like a cottony kind of ribbon is good. There at the end. You want to give these a little press to make sure they're staying flat. Let's wake up the iron here. Okay. And then once we have that, it's got the little ribbon in there. We just pull. And that top part, just tuck it in just a little bit. Give it a good start. Turn it itself right side out. Like that. And then we just take a pair of seam ripper. Just rip out those little stitches. Or if you did it as like a little base or something. Not a base stitch, it wouldn't be hard just to kind of rip. Nope. Okay, there we go. And you could do that with the other one too. Okay. So once you get your handles turned inside out, and your little egg pouch, this is hemostats. You can take that right up through the small handle, as long as you got enough space in the throat of the hemostat. Sometimes people use longer ones too. I have a short pair. And then you just tuck right where in between the teeth. You kind of just give that a little pinch. Make sure you got fabric in there. Make sure it's a good bit. And then you just start it out to turn it right side out, just like that. And a little press, and you're ready. Okay, what I did is I just tucked the raw end in on one side and sewed across it, because that's going to be the outside handle, and then the other one we're going to enclose on the inside of the apron. Okay. You could do a top stitch on this too if you like. I don't think I did on mine. No, I didn't. I just pressed it. Okay, so let's do a little top stitch on that. All right, then we're just going to press this flat the best we can. Kind of roll the seam out a little bit, both the top and the bottom. And this is designing your own apron. This is the best part. Free pattern. Just do a couple measurements. Here. I do have another one. It's just too much of a warm day to be fiddling and faddling with things like that. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to do some marking. So we're going to put our back off to the side here. And move this out of the way. We're going to have the front of our apron facing towards us. Okay, so it's right side up. That, okay, so it's right side up and it's facing us towards us. The top part is narrower at the top and then wider at the bottom. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to come in at the top and we want to mark down a 1/2 inch. And I'm just going to use my board here. And that's where I'm going to start the placement at the top of my handle. Okay, just a 1/2 inch there. And then the side that I have not done a little top stitch on, I'm going to lay that there, straight along the edge, laying that flat to the inside. And again, straight along the edge. I'm trying to make, if I had the seam to the down on one side, make sure the seam is down to the other side. And then just pin those in place so they don't move. Okay, we'll flap those out. And then when it comes to the pocket pouches, what I did is I folded it in half and then I marked 6 inches and then 6 inches and then 6 inches. And then on the half mark, I put that right on the line. So that line that we made, we're going to lay it right on the line and I'm going to pin that one right there. I'm just going to go, doop, okay? So I know it's all nice and secure. Same with this one here. Okay. And then when it comes to these ones, what you do is you want to fold in about 1 inch and then fold in here about 1 inch. And you want those to come inwards, or you can have them go the other way. So the pocket goes, I think mine was the other way. Yeah, there we go. The poke goes the other way. And there. And then you pin that down and then that becomes a pocket. So we'll sew all the way across on the bottom. We'll secure up the side bits all the way. And that should give us a 6 on the top and 6 on the bottom. And once you get those all pinned and you sew, you're going to make yourself some cute little pockets. Now this is also great for a kid who loves to collect rocks and you're out for little walkabouts. They can fill up all these little pouches with their rocks. Now again, you're going to fold in a bit. Okay. So here. And then here. Lay it flat. Lay it flat. Take that pin, transfer it. There. And here at the bottom. And then the last one here. And then this little end just gets a little tucked down. And that gets pinned there. And that gets pinned there. Okay. Now once you have all that, you'll do it on both sides for both rows. Okay. I'll show you on this one. Okay. See how I did the fold and then I just sewed in between the rows to stabilize. I did a back stitch up at the top on each one and that allows for nice big scoops for your eggs. It's probably a little bit more than what we need, but I'd rather them sit lower in the pocket than be so close to the top and possibly fall out. So then you can add your second row just right down here, just exactly the same. I did leave a little gap on this side to be able to put scissors in, so be able to clip the chicken wings when they get, like I said, get a little flighty. So I'll just finish folding up this side so you can see. Go in the direction. Now you could totally measure this out completely, like every so many, inches you do this. This also kind of works too. It's not that hard. Right? Just a matter of spacing it out. You're putting chicken eggs in it, right? Or rocks. Or whatever else you like to collect. Could be good for berries too, I would think maybe. So not too many berries would get squished in one little pouch. I guess we can call it a multi-purpose apron. Just enough. And the same with the other part. I'm going to tuck that in. Okay, and then what you do is just sew down the side here all the way across on the bottom and then up on the other side, and then you just come back and you stitch in between. Okay, just like that, when you stitch right in between. And I put I stitched it on the front first, and then when we've done all that, we take the backing, we lay it right on top, making sure we're tucking in our little handles. And we could stitch those handles down first and then give a gap on the side so you can turn it right side out and then stitch all the way around. I rounded the corners on mine. Okay, just did a little roundness on the corner and then just did a top stitch of a zigzag. Okay, and that is probably one of the most easiest aprons you're ever going to come across. And it's a great way to showcase some of your fabrics if you want to make it scrappy. I probably will end up making a nice scrappy one at some point in time. I would love to see yours if you make one. Thank you, everyone. Big hugs. Take care, and we'll see you soon on the next one. Bye.